He-Man is getting some help from his sister She-Ra in the new series He-Man: The Eternity War. Writer Dan Abnett gives us nostalgia overload with a He-Man She-Ra team-up and the return of Skeletor. So I'm very excited about this comic, as you can see. But what do people need to know going into He-Man Eternity War?
They basically need to know two things. Hordak and the Horde have conquered Eternia. Everything's very, very grim. He-Man and the Master of the Universe are essentially resistance fighters driven into the dark hemisphere of Eternia. They're using Snake Mountain as a base. And of course there's the whole setup of the return of She-Ra, which is a very big thing.
I mean, it would have been my plan from the start, but was it always your plan to bring in She-Ra?
Yeah, the groundwork for putting She-Ra into the comic was sort of going on before I'd even realised. It was one of the big things we wanted to do with that run on the comic, and obviously she has a huge fan base of her own. She-Ra as a character is really interesting because, of course, she has this immense power, prestige, importance, significance. In some respects, she's sort of even more significant than He-Man himself. But also, she has her own demons because of her background, because of the fact that she has essentially in her previous state being twisted into being a villainous being and wishing to reject that guilt and shame and everything that goes along with that. But it gives her an insight into the bad guys that I think He-Man doesn't have, really. So in many respects, she's a much more sort of complex character to play with.
He-Man: The Eternity War comes out later this month, but before we go, would you do the oath with me? Okay,
by the power of Grayskull, I have the power! Obviously, you couldn't, because of Skype and the filters that are on Skype, you couldn't see the lightning that struck me at that point. Or the fact that the street outside collapsed. You know.
Hey everybody, full episodes of DC All Access return in 2015, but in the meantime, why don't you check out these awesome videos right over here. To keep up with everything going on in DC Comics, movies, TV shows, video games, and so much more, make sure you subscribe to DC All Access.